You know what I love?
Sports.
I love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Well. It's a good well. I'm very happy to have Ryan Brauninger in studio during the Go Hour. Presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations, because today is a football Wednesday.
Yeah, you smell that? It's not delicious 1775 barbecue.
Not yet. That's in a few minutes.
It's not David's hideous lunch, unseasoned lunch that is stinking up the entire office in the upstairs microwave.
There's seasons.
And it is football. What you smell is football. And inevitably, though, with this being my third day running on the Go Hour, filling in for the velvety, yummy tones of Olin Buchanan, there is going to be a certain subset of our listener base, our TexAgs fans, that are upset that it's me today. And it's been me for the last 3 days. I'm not going to describe that subset of human beings in terms of physical descriptors, but I think we can all put them together. Who just imagine the people that would be incredible fans of Olin Buchanan.
They're about between 40 and 70, and they are men and women. I get.
Okay.
Oh yeah. The older ladies love Olin. They do. I didn't say what age was older. By the way, it only took you 51 seconds to send a zinger my way.
What did I do to your way?
Your food that's what'd you call it? Unseasoned and
it stinks up the entire.
It does not stink. I brought fish one time. It was an accident. It was salmon.
Imagine trying to pull that by. I accidentally brought fish for lunch. Like there was a chicken in your car, like a dead chicken breast in your car, ready to go to work, and then out of nowhere it somehow slips out and a fish flops in.
This is the accident that I meant. Oftentimes, I either prep for the week for what I'm going to have for lunch, or I bring leftovers from the night before. So I do this little container before everybody can eat all the food, because my kids will continue to eat if you don't hide stuff. So I put my little container, boom, it's for lunch the next day. I don't think at 7:22 p.m. when I'm about to put away my container.
So it's less of an accident, more of just negligence on your part.
I think it's an accident. Accident of not remembering you shouldn't bring fish to work. And it was once.
Hey, Nick, this guy couldn't be on B team.
No.
You couldn't be on B team.
I'm not part of that
group. You know
group.
why? Because we're a hand-up show. And it's okay for sometimes you say, you know what, I screwed up. Hand up, that's on me. You run from that.
So you're saying that I don't apologize?
No, I'm just saying that you're running from accountability.
No.
I mean, what you've done, though, this whole conversation has been brilliant because you were digging yourself a hole.
There's no hole.
No. You were digging yourself a hole when you started to describe Olin Buchanan's fans.
You asked the question.
No. I didn't ask a question. I said, if you think about what Olin Buchanan's fans might be, their physical attributes, you could probably put them together, and then you started putting words to it on live radio.
I said 40 to 70. This is AM radio.
And then you said?
Men and women.
And then you said?
The women are older. There's nothing wrong with that. Dreyer, would you agree or disagree?
No, don't start pulling people in here, and especially, it's 8:05. She doesn't talk for another 10 minutes.
I'm about to join the AARP group anyway, so I'm a part of that group.
Hey, when is your birthday?
September the 10th.
Yeah, I got a big one coming up next week.
Is it 40? How'd you get so old?
You know what? People ask me, like, I can't believe you're 40 years old. And I'm like, it's better than the alternative.
Yep.
Getting older is better than the alternative. So you can't run from it. It's coming. Father Time comes for every man. That's it. What do they say? It rains on the millionaire and the homeless man.
There's nothing you can do about it, so make the most out of every minute.
That's right.
And bring fish to work when you can. All right, let's start off with camp. Coach Elko held a press conference yesterday. I got a couple bites I kind of want to talk through. The first one, there's not really much to talk through, just hearing him set the tone for the start of camp and his emotions behind that.
It's like the start of what you're most looking forward to every year, and knowing that you're trying to formulate the strategy, the plan, the vision for this version of Texas A&M football, the 2026 team, to go out and have the most success that they can have. And but you also know how much that's going to change over the next 4 months, right? And it's impossible to predict how this journey is going to go. And so I think there's obviously a level of excitement there always has to be, and there should be, that's consistent year in and year out. I think, as we've started to build and establish this thing, there's consistency with what there's optimism and excitement about what we're capable of. I think those things all are important. But there's also, it's like kind of like, okay, we're about to start this long journey through a college football season. And so you're just kind of mentally getting prepared and ready for it.
So that basically just sets the tone for the next one that I want to run, because he talks about it being unpredictable. They believe in the work that they've done. I think the most important soundbite from yesterday just shows you, he calls this the most challenging year that he's had at Texas A&M, all right? And he lays out the why behind it. So let's listen to that and then chew on it for a minute, Bronny. Here's Coach Elko talking about this is not going to be an easy season.
I think one of the biggest challenges that this program will have is what we're about to embark on. And that's what I said to our staff, and that's what I'm going to say to our team tonight. This program has had a really hard time doubling down on success. That's our challenge, and that is a challenge and a puzzle that has not been cracked here before. And so there's not one piece of me that thinks anything is going to be easier. I think this is going to be the most challenging season that we've had. We've got to replace a lot of talented players. We've got to go to some really challenging places, and we've got to have the same levels of success that we're expecting as a program, or that we've established as the standard for this program. And so to me, all of that creates what looks to me like the most challenging season that we've had in the three. And so to your point, yes, it's obviously better to go into that challenge with a third-year program. When you look at where we are from an accountability standpoint, from a strength and explosiveness standpoint, we are in a much better place than we've ever been as a program. That all matters, and that will all help. But as I stand here on the beginning of fall camp, the words like easy aren't coming into my mind right now. I think this is really a big, challenging season for us.
I forget how the question was phrased, but like, how good is it that this is your third year?
Yeah, how much easier is it to...
I think it was Rob from Aggie Illustrated who asked that, I believe. I might be wrong. And he didn't mean it like, is it going to be easy? But just, you've got you've recruited for 3 years, you've got your culture set, and Coach Elko is saying, yes, all that obviously helps to where we are right now, but now we have to do something we don't do very often at this university, which is doubling down on success.
And that's a common theme that we've heard across the summer talking circuit is he has said some, not quiet parts out loud, but some stuff that may make A&M fans uncomfortable. And everybody's excited, and he's going, hey, we've never done this in back-to-back seasons. Just like, what did he say about at SEC Media Days about the trophy cabinet? Like, he's not running from this stuff, and he's out to change it. And so when you get a guy that's as organized and as smart and as efficient as he is, you have confidence as a media member or even as a fan that there is going to be a plan of attack here.
Yep.
This isn't going to be wishful hoping that we just continue the momentum that we built last year. He took this as a challenge and then disseminated that message to his football team and the entire program about what is at stake this season. And for all their accomplishments in year 2 last fall, they didn't win anything. And that's what he addressed at SEC Media Days. Now he's addressing the continued success, the sustained success that this program has struggled to accommodate, and especially over the last, since RC left. really since RC left. How many back-to-back really good years that you have? You thought you were going to get one in 2012 and 2013 were pretty good.
What, 9-4 and
11-2.
11-2.
And 9-4 with one of the worst defenses that this place has ever and will ever see, and with a historic offense as well. But yeah, that's probably, when you're going back and looking through it since RC left, that's probably the best back-to-back year run that this school has had, and that's not good enough. And it's not good enough with the resources and the expectations, but you don't just snap your fingers and all of a sudden it has to happen. Like 2025 means nothing for 2026, and it's good that you've got some guys coming back that he mentioned, setting his culture, setting the standard. That does make your job, that just takes some things off of your plate as a coach, but that doesn't mean those areas of your plate don't get refilled by other things. And with everything that a college football coach is now, it ain't just a football coach. You're a CFO, you're a CEO, you're a psychiatrist. So once you take something off your plate, you're probably adding something right there too. So I really liked his answer for that, and I like that this is a challenge. This isn't like we don't have anything up and rolling. We had one good season. Like, in order for us to have sustained success here, we have to come up with a plan that's going to allow us to do that. I'm really interested to see kind of how that unfolds. What does that look like both on the field and off?
Coach Elko isn't necessarily coaching against Alabama or Texas while he is on a week-to-week basis. What he is doing is coaching against history, because, as you alluded to, this place hasn't had, I think the next best stretch would have been 2020, 2021, when they went 8-4 after the 9-1 season. Like, that's what we've seen since.
Well, then you would say that 24 and 25 are better than that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I'm saying that, following success, because I don't know if I thought 8-5 would be considered like.
Yeah.
That started the run, but the successful season was the 11-2. Can they follow up a successful season with another successful season and potentially exceeding that?
Well, you look at the way they're recruiting, and you like the future viability of the program, but here and now in this season, there are questions. And number 8 in the coaches poll came out yesterday. I think it's the highest Texas A&M's been in the preseason coaches poll, and I guess it would have been that year when they lost to App State, weren't they? Preseason number 5.
Sounds right. Yep.
Number 7 in 2021, they were number 6.
Okay, yeah. So it's been since the last couple of years of Jimbo. But that is the echelon, that is the tier of teams that this program needs to be in. Like, you need to be in this conversation every year. And they're recruiting like it. And they played like it last year.
Yep.
And the schedule is unforgiving. We can go through all that. I really like the direction of the football program under Mike Elko. You mentioned he's coaching against history, and I think he's very apt to, he's very aware of that. But there's also a simplistic nature that you have to boil it down to. And you talk about adding stuff to your plate. I think when you look at, I'm coaching against history, that's too much. Just go coach your team today. And
from a fan's perspective and from an analyst's perspective, its history has been what's been against Texas A&M. But he coaches about competition, identity, accountability. He doesn't mention the playoffs in that bite at all. He doesn't mention the SEC championship. He mentions putting your hand in the dirt. Let's go to work.
Yeah, when it's 3rd and 6 against LSU in Death Valley, who cares what they did in 2011?
Right.
Are you really coaching against that? You're just trying to coach the next play.
These kids don't know any of that.
Right.
Like, they don't read the history the way we do, right? Like, they just don't. For them, it's about, all right, that's what it used to be. We're here to start something new.
Yeah, and it goes back to the old adage we talk about all the time, that sometimes, especially recruits, they don't take the wins and losses like the fans do. Mm-hmm. And wins and losses in a specific moment at a specific time rarely flip a kid's decision. But fans are invested. They've been emotionally invested in this team, in this football program for a long, long time, financially invested as well. So you kind of understand some of the emotional roller coasters that they go through. But for Coach Elko, it's to me, there's no emotion there. Like, it is a steady heartbeat with a plan of how we're going to go about this. And what I'm looking forward to is, this is this is peak excitement until we get to game day, right?
Yeah.
Today is peak excitement until the ball's actually kicked off. So what do the ensuing weeks look like at fall camp? That's where you determine what you really got, to me, because it's going to be hot. There's going to be a lot of days. As somebody that I was not anywhere close to a Texas A&M football athlete, but I was a collegiate athlete, there are plenty of days where there's the last place that you want to go is to practice.
Yep.
And it's brutal, and it's a mental challenge as big as a physical challenge. And are you up for that just mental conversation, that personal battle every day to get up, not just go to practice and exist, but to get better? That's where the culture of the team comes in. Do you have guys pulling everybody in the right direction? Because not everybody's bad days are going to be the same.
Right.
Some guys are going to have good days, and that's whenever you need, like, not just Marcel and Mike O'Reilly and Damian Sanford. That's where you're going to need some of these younger guys that are the next in line for these leadership positions. I'm thinking like a Landon Rink. Like, pull some guys with you. Landon Rink, super high energy. I think he's going to play a lot this year. Can he pull some guys in the direction of his energy instead of like having a lull for a few days? Those are just things that you look at fall camp. Everybody talks about positional battles. I like the team aspect of it. Like, what kind of team are we going to be?
Right.
And that does have to do with how you execute third down defense. But it has more to do, I think, with how are you executing the everyday drills that are monotonous and boring by the time you get to August 20th. Are you still as engaged with those as you were on day one?
I want to hear one more bite, because this is about Damian Sanford, who I had in the studio yesterday, by the way, on our Texas Aggies United interviews. But here's Coach Elko talking about his health, if he's going to be, first off, the overall health of the team, if Sanford's going to be able to go week one. Don't overanalyze his answer. He kind of explains it. So here's Coach Elko on that.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have anybody miss, nobody going in with massive limitations, and so we're healthy and ready to roll.
So Sanford's practicing already?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And as far as...
No, like, again, so before we take this and run with this, like, there are natural football build-up limitations that happen to guys who are recovering from injuries. So he's not going to go out there and take 82 reps in practice one. But no, there's no limit. There's nothing that needs to be written about.
So you think he'll be ready for the opener in that case then, or
we'll see how camp goes. Okay. There's still probably some markers and some steps that he's got to go through, but we'll see. He's on course to be.
On course to be, but as he mentioned, we'll see how he handles the practice battles.
I want to go back, listening to that clip. It reminded me of when the injury occurred and how everybody was breathless trying to get to social media, proclaim how this was a devastating blow for Texas A&M. Fans, media members, clickbait artists, they couldn't wait to get to social media to talk about how devastating of a blow it was for this Texas A&M football team. First of all, you didn't know that. Somebody could have stepped up and played, but then Billy calmly comes along and says, hey, why don't we just pump the brakes a little bit and let's see what the injury looks like, how the surgery goes, the whole thing. And look, we're right here, starting fall camp, and the head coach just said he's on schedule to play in the opener. Like, not even miss any time. Now, could they precautiously hold him out until Arizona State? Sure. But for him to be where he's at is pretty remarkable, and it's a huge credit to Damian and really probably the medical professionals and the trainers that took care of him during this time to get him in his position where he is ready on day one of practice to go out there and run around.
Yep. All right, let's tell the people the name of the show. We went 19 minutes, haven't said hi to people or anything. It's TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Over there in that section, when we do our show from there, is the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. If you want to be a part of the conversation, call us up on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, 979-693-1150, or text us on that same number. That is the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy. Text line 979-693-1150. We're going to go around the room. We go left to right. We go behind the glass and say hi to Nick Savage. Nick, good morning.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
What's up?
I couldn't agree more, Bronny. I think today is the most hyped that we'll all feel, and maybe even tomorrow morning when we actually have some videos and some reports to watch and read. So, football's back. It's exciting, and can't wait to see it. Is it, to me, and y'all can help me remember, this feels like the first time that A&M has gone into a fall camp without anybody, limited, and obviously Sanford's going to be limited, but at least practicing, right? I feel like in years past, there's always been people already out who got injured in spring ball and whatnot. So that's encouraging to me, starting fall camp with everybody participating in some form or fashion.
Nick, do you think Sterling Martin cost himself the Daytona 500 in 2002?
Well, Sterling Martin isn't even a driver. You mean Sterling Marlin?
Sterling Marlin, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't alive then, Bronny, so I don't know.
Bronny, got a nice text from Ron, class of 80, about us. It's really nice.
Fire away, Ron.
The egos of Nuno's, and he has to put Z on there because he's an idiot, and Bronny are too big for one show/stage.
Sweet.
Their constant snipping at each other is too hard to listen to.
Change the channel, pal.
I had to turn it off.
Yeah.
Yes. So Ron,
you should listen to. He should be a B team listener.
Ron,
come on over.
When I go visit assisted living and say hi to you in person.
Wow. Class of 80s assisted living?
No, I'm just why not? I'll shake your hand and say thank you for trying the show, and we'll have Opie come by and visit you as well.
This guy's sensitive. He just can't help it.
No, I can't.
I'd just smooth walk by.
No, but you wanted to hear it though.
Ron, we appreciate you listening.
It's Ron Washington, by the way.
It is?
But I think he's listening, yes.
That's just the way baseball go.
Classic soundbite. Let's go to Kaylee Dreyer at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center.
Hello. Maybe some egoless Kaylee Dreyer will help. It is 8:21, so she's allowed to speak now.
I've been talking all morning.
Well, just yesterday you came in and you told Nick you don't speak in the morning.
When I first get here, it just takes me a second to warm up to everybody else.
Thank you, Kaylee.
So I just wanted to get into, obviously, y'all talked about the preseason coaches poll. The Aggies came in at number 8. The SEC had 9 teams in the top 25. The Big Ten had 8, and the Big 12 and the ACC had 4 and 3. And then I just wanted to go through from 2020 to 2026. Obviously, this year they were ranked number 8, 2020 number 13, 2021 number 6, which was the lowest in the past 6 years, 2022 number 7, 23 number 25, 2024 they were not ranked, and then 2025 they were 21.
Good stuff. Let's come back with some more stuff in a little bit because we are way late for a break. I'm talking 1775 tomorrow. I should be eating lunch there. They keep things exciting with mouth-watering weekly specials. Thursdays, you can get the brisket Philly. On Fridays, you can indulge in a Brazos Spuds or a perfectly smoked half chicken. Saturdays, raspberry chipotle pork burnt ends and smoked barbacoa tacos. Rotating desserts that satisfy any sweet tooth. It's the place to go, and the queso mac and cheese is absolutely delicious. I get it with every meal that I get there. They're open Thursday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until they're sold out. Call them up, 979-492-6241. It's 1775txbbq.com. Hey everyone, David Nuno here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. Hey friends, David Nuno here for the Association of Former Students, and have you checked out the latest issue of the Texas Aggie magazine? The May through June issue is a special Aggie Spirits issue that includes all things Aggie: wine, beer, mead, spirits, and much, much more. And the team at the Association of Former Students search far and wide for Aggie-owned businesses, breweries, wineries across the state, the country, and even the world. That's right, the globe, baby. And as much as could be found has been compiled into the magazine for the Aggie Network. Now, normally, the Texas Aggie magazine is available only to Century Club members. However, this issue is available to everyone. So to read the issue and explore giving to receive future issues, visit tx.ag/Texas Aggie. That is tx.ag/Texas Aggie. Again, don't miss the special Aggie Spirits issue of the Texas Aggie to explore all things Aggie: wine, beer, mead, spirits, and much, much more. It is tx.ag/Texas Aggie. Check it out. And we are back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, The Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creation. James on the YouTube page has a comment that I think you'd like to hear. Bronny's B Team still on YouTube in the afternoons. Haven't been able to find it for my drives home. It's coming back, baby.
We will be back the week before football season starts, so we're a little bit of a hiatus. We are the hardest working afternoon radio show on planet Earth and the moon, except during the times when we're not working at all.
But when you're working,
hardest working.
And
we had Nick used to produce our show, and then Nick, being as uppity as he is, he decided that it was too lowbrow for him. So all we've done is go hard. We've just gone to work, and we've added Cade Bickham as our producer.
Yep.
Brings a ton to the table.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this. Nick wakes up at 4 a.m. to start the show.
I actually got to, credit to Nick. I was trying to pick fun at him. I don't know if I should do that because, my ego is a little big. So along with
You're
my
so
belly.
sensitive. Let it be.
I know.
Yeah, Bronny, for that comment, I am canceling the sweet graphics package we have coming
he
your
did
way.
make a sweet graphics package. I'm
Canceled.
sorry, Nick. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
forgot. He
All
did
right.
show me the but I was going to give you a compliment. So I got a phone call from Jason Hutchins at Texas A&M Baseball a couple of weeks ago because Clayton Freshcorn and Aiden Sims, who were coming to the TexAgs preseason kickoff event, they didn't know what to wear. And they were sitting in his office and they were nervous that they were going to be overdressed. So he called me to ask what the players should wear to the PKO event. After I told him, he goes, "Hey, do you drive a black truck?" I was like, "No, I drive a white truck." He goes, "Man, I get to work early, and every time I drive by TexAgs, there's a black truck that's already beat me to work." I said, "That's our producer, Nick Savage, hardest working man in the game."
Man, you've gone from here to here in a matter of 34 seconds, Nick.
I love it. I'm actually driving my wife's car, so he probably thinks I'm lazy now. But don't worry, I've still been getting here just as early.
All right, let's play a little 25 and 25 presented by Paragon Financial Advisors, an Aggie-owned independent fee-only fiduciary serving families and business owners nationwide. Visit paragon-adv.com. Number 18 on the list, Ray Coney.
Linebacker Ray Coney, a transfer from Tulsa. And
Were you thinking about making fun of me there?
No. I just, the delivery, you put me on my heels a little bit. You've humbled me a little bit. Thank you, David. I needed some humbling this morning. Ray Coney, I'm excited about him. Remember, whenever he went into the transfer portal, there were a lot of A&M fans that that fits exactly what we need at linebacker. Yeah. A bigger body that can run, has a ton of tackles to his name. At Tulsa, has a very interesting route to Texas A&M, and he's kind of seen every level of football on his way to College Station. And we will see how much he impacts this defense down to down, series to series. regardless, at the very, very least, let's say he's not an every down player, he's not a starter, you have now provided yourself with quality depth and insurance should something happen with one of those guys ahead of him. I think there's a real conversation to be had. He's one of the names, if you're looking through positions on this team and you're looking at guys that could, with a strong fall camp, really emerge as an every down player, I think Ray Coney is one of them. Not just because he's behind somebody, but I think the linebacker spot opposite of Damian Sanford is up for grabs.
Yeah.
And it could be him. It could be Noah McHale. It could be Jordan Lockhart. I'm excited to see Ray Coney when the ball is snapped and it's 11 on 11. Not drills, not 7 on 7.
11 on 11.
11 on 11,
Yep.
where he can shine, because what is he? He's a tackle maker.
Yep.
And he's wearing number 21, and the last guy that wore that jersey here was a tackle maker. And I think there's something to be said for when the game gets played and there's actual football happening, if your name gets called a lot. There's
Yep.
something to it. And I don't care what the 40 time is. I don't care what the shuttle time is, the broad jump, the vertical, all that stuff. That's what the NFL tests, and that's what gets drafted. But for me, if I'm going to win a game, does he get his name called? Is calling his name out because he made tackles?
Yep.
And that's what he's done in his career.
The film will tell you he is athletic enough for the SEC. We'll see how it translates. He's sideline to sideline, as you mentioned, a tackle machine. Those are things that coaches can trust and put him in. The questions will be, how quickly does he make the transition to the SEC? And I think he will make that transition. And also, how does he do in misfits? Does he plug holes? Because that's a big thing. And that's something that I talked to Damian Sanford about yesterday when he was in the studio, that the linebackers know they cannot miss it. That is something that they're working on.
And that was something that Mike Elko addressed last offseason, going into the offseason. I think Richard asked him about it yesterday, and his answer was correct. Like, we can talk about it. We think we've gone back through the drawing board and tried to clean up our technique and how it's taught. But until you get out there and actually play football, we don't know the answer to, did we fix some of the stuff on our run defense? Because schematically, you can think that you've got every base covered, but you've got to instill the discipline in all of those guys to fit into those gaps. And all it takes is for one guy to be off, one guy to miss a tackle, and then they're out the gate, and everybody's going, well, you didn't fix your run defense. Well, Ray Coney, they brought him in to be a part of the answers to those questions.
Now, it's going to be hard to say this question because knowing what went to the NFL, but what if the linebacker group is better? You lose Torian, you lose Scooby, like that. You're losing a lot of talent there. That being said, a more seasoned Damian Sanford, the growth of Noah McHale, and if Ray Coney can be what we think he can be, and Jordan Lockhart every year I think has just gotten progressively better. You talk about those four guys. What if the group overall is better?
Yeah, I think that's certainly it's certainly a discussion, and they got a new voice leading them. And how do they take to Travis Williams as their new position coach? What kind of energy does he bring day to day? How much different is his ability to communicate player to player than what Jay Bateman had? I don't know all these answers, but this just from that part of it, that element of it, I think it's something that you have to look at when trying to evaluate, at least in the preseason, is how are these guys getting coached day to day, and how are they being communicated with day to day? And Jordan Lockhart, listen, not a ton of cameos, but when he's been in like late games, he's flashed.
Yeah. And here's something that I've said over and over, and I hope that Ray Coney's another example. When Derek Miller and Mike Elko want somebody, there's usually success that follows, right? Like, look at what they have done, grabbing guys, and even no matter what program they come from, San Diego State, Tulane, Bowling Green, whatever it may be, Kansas, it seems to work here at A&M at a very high level.
Yeah, they've got a really efficient process, and we've written about it a ton on the recruiting side. You see it in the portal. You obviously see it in high school recruiting. Billy put out an article yesterday, and I won't divulge everything, all the intel that's in there, but one of the guys that he talks about in terms of big summers was KK Johnson, a guy that had a couple of offers as a quarterback at Fort Bend Marshall. They went and said, no, we think he's something else other than a quarterback. They offer him as a tight end, and then everybody else goes, oh, like that's really forward-thinking, right. Very good evaluation. So other schools jump in, and A&M signs him, and now he's already turning heads because of the type of athlete that he is at the position. These guys have knocked it out of the park in terms of player evaluation. That starts with Derek Miller and Mike Elko, but it trickles down. There's a whole there's a whole team of people over there that are into player evaluation and scouting, and they have as good of a department as anybody right now, because you're right. Like, they go and find players like Cassius Howell, and they go and find Marcus Ratcliffe, and some of them are easier. But if Ray Coney hits, they went and found Ray Coney as well. So, huge feather in the hat, huge kudos to Derek Miller and his team.
All right, we'll hit a break here. We will come back with more. I want to hit a couple other sound bites from Coach Elko from his introductory press conference before fall camp begins later on tonight. Right now, we're talking about the Rollo Insurance Group, where you get a personal agent, you get their direct number, not a call center, not an automated system. You'll get someone who knows your situation and your name by face and name. That's the Rollo difference, and the difference is real. They got 60 offices in Texas, whether it's home, auto, business, ranch, insurance. Start a relationship with an expert who puts you first. Your agent becomes familiar with your specific situation, and they provide a plan that most mass market insurers simply cannot match. So when you need advice or have a claim, you'll speak directly with somebody who knows you by name. That's the Rollo difference. Visit RolloInsurance.com/TexAgs, RolloInsurance.com/TexAgs, 888-44-ROLLO. It's Rollo Insurance. Everybody, David Nuno here from TexAgs, here with some of our new friends from Frog Slayer. We've got the CEO, Ross Morrell, and the VP of Revenue, Jacob Stone. Ross, I want to start off with you. Who is Frog Slayer? What do you all do?
Yeah, Frog Slayer is a custom software, AI and automation company. We're based here in College Station. We've got about 50 employees right here, almost all Aggies. We've been doing this since 2005, about 21 years. Really what we do is we partner with business owners of growing businesses. And our goal is to come in, help them actually realize the promised technology in their company so they can create a company that is worth more than is tomorrow, that is today, and run a better business.
Jacob, I do want to ask you, what's different about Frog Slayer's approach when it comes to AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't just do AI, we do AI right. And so what that means is we embed ourselves inside of our client's team, and we help them plan, build, and ship solutions that they can deploy to a production environment that anyone can use.
All right, Ross, I've got to ask you, why the name Frog Slayer?
Yeah, it's an old riff off Mark Twain quote. So he said, the hardest thing you got to do today is eat a frog. It's best to do it first thing in the morning. So that's kind of our ethos of doing hard things first. And it's also a nice tie into gigging.
Yeah, I love that. Jacob, let's close out. Where can we all find Frog Slayer?
Yes, you can find us online at frogslayer.com.
All right, thank you very much to both of you, Ross and Jacob. Check out Frog Slayer. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on DoubleDaves.com, and your favorites are on their way.
Can I quick shout out? Yesterday we did the TKO Performance of the Week, and I talked about the summer that Coach Early had. If we had delayed the TKO Performance of the Week by one day, we could have had a really baseball-centric segment there, because yesterday, Caden Sorrell, his first professional hit, a single. Bear Harrison, first professional hit, a triple.
And another one, right?
And Gavin Grahovic, first professional hit, a home run. Also, Brad Rudis, first professional strikeout in low A. Remember, he went through the draft league and was playing unaffiliated baseball before being picked up with the Twins, and he got his first appearance and strikeout of the season yesterday. So congratulations to all those guys.
Props to them. Bronny, I want to hear this soundbite from Coach Elko. It's a question that I asked because I think this, to me, is why I believe in his entire process. This exact soundbite. I asked about not having certain starters figured out just yet because of basically how much competition that they have in those rooms. Now, some guys may have been coming in thinking they'll be starters, but they understood when they signed the dotted line that this was going to be a battle. And here's Coach Elko talking about his philosophy behind that in today's college football world.
When you have 18 to 21-year-olds, competition is better. The desire to have to get up every day and fight to earn things is what will ultimately create the development that you need. We don't have, I say this a lot, but we don't have 32-year-old NFL veterans that you just want to hand jobs to. You still want to create that competitive mindset in these young kids. And so I think that's what we have strived for in roster creation, even to say, we're not bringing in the starting tackle. We're going to have a handful of guys that we think are really good that can compete to earn that spot, because through that competition, everybody gets better. And so I think we're excited about the fact that I don't know who some of the starters are going into fall camp. Offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, when healthy, who's going to be the second one. There's a corner competition. Who's going to go out there at wide out, because we've got a lot of depth there. I just think there's a lot of competition across the board, and ultimately that elevates everything in your program. I think that's really important.
So obviously he's got a couple spots. He knows who the starters are. He knows that Marcel Reed is his starting quarterback. He knows that when Damian Sanford is good to go, he's a starting linebacker. He knows that Mario Craver is his starting wide receiver. And I do assume that Horton's going to be the X in that situation. But there's a lot of other positions, especially on the offensive line. DJ Hicks, another one. I think pretty much you can guarantee he's going to be a starter. But there's a lot of other guys that have the same level of talent. Some are just a little green in their development. And maybe they're not anymore. Maybe that whole year under Tommy Moffitt's program and Coach Elko's philosophy as they're entering their next year, or maybe it's been 2 years in the process, maybe those guys are ready to take the next step, but they don't have to if they're not ready.
Yeah, and it speaks to his point about being hungry every day to compete for a spot, and the competitive nature that you have to build in human beings this age that are, highly athletic, highly gifted individuals. There is a mentality piece that comes with fighting for survival, fighting for my spot every day. And that's why I think there's so many of those instances where we think that 4 of those transfers are going to start on the offensive line, but we don't know that. I don't think they know that either. Yeah. And so one of the more intriguing elements about this fall camp are all those positions where you're going, man, we feel good about the group, but who's it going to be that's going to emerge as the starter or the every down player? And you've got a little bit of insurance on the defensive line because you're going to rotate and play so many, but you got to get the starting 5 on your offensive line. You need to get it right. You need to get it right as soon as you can. That may take a couple of games before you figure out, move some things around. We saw it with Texas last year. It took them about halfway through the year before they figured out their best combination and started playing the best they could up front. But there's, you mentioned Craver and Horton, and I would throw ABR in that group. Is Terry Bussey ready to take the next step in his development, or does he get pushed by Aaron Gregory? And what do those reps look like? And I would love for Terry Bussey to continue kind of building on the momentum that he generated throughout the spring and the summer and lock down that spot. But you have to like where that group is as a whole, because you do have that next wave of receivers pushing to get on the field. And whether it be offensive line, tight ends, another one where what's going to happen there? You brought in a bunch of different guys, and Michael Riley talked about the group yesterday. But just position by position, outside of the secondary and quarterback, you're going to go, all right, like there's some reps to be fought for starting today. And you speak to the culture of your team, like we talked about earlier. Who's up for the fight? Who's up for the physical grind, but also the mental grind of being sharp every day we go out there, because I want the football, or I want to be on the field when the important plays happen. And all of that is starting to be built right now.
There's a couple of ways you can look at it, and they're not the exact same situation. When we had Jim Dunaway on, I think he said that both Keelan Russell and Austin Mack were pretty close back to back, like they're in the same ballpark, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? Good thing is, and man, there's no drop off if you go with either one. The bad part, there could be a big distance between the two. When Alabama was during their day, they could go too deep at every position, right? And I'm hoping that's what we have here.
Georgia's doing it.
Yeah, Georgia's doing it for sure. That's what I'm hoping we're going to get from A&M, is that, like, it's not because nobody's taken the job. It's because both of these guys want the job and are capable of taking the job.
Yeah, like even at running back, we expect Ruben Owens to be the leader. I hope Ruben gets pushed in camp.
Yeah.
Because it'll make Ruben better. And if the leader is being forced to get better, then the whole group gets better. Or some guys completely get left behind. I tend to believe that if the leader is being pushed to get better, then the whole group comes forward. And that's a group that has a little bit of question marks, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about Jamarian Morrow. Yep. I'm excited about Ruben. I think Ruben caught a bad rap at the end of last year. I don't think that Ruben was 100% healthy, and I do think there's a really good back in there, and I think there's an every down back in Ruben Owens, and I'm hoping that he has flipped the switch and is ready to take that mantle on. But if he's not, you've got some really capable backs, and Jamarian Morrow flashed in brief a lot, and he's got something that not a lot of. I mean, he's got a little bit of like a Darren Sproles, Clyde Edwards-Helaire to his game, and that's exciting.
About a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year ago, I feel like Tiger was getting spoken about more than Jamarian. Jamarian had a great camp, no doubt, and Tiger ended up getting hurt. But he's a guy that I think we don't talk about. I'm going to interview him later on today. We don't talk about because we don't know, we don't remember in a way. But let's not forget, how he was coming up.
I mean, he was one of the premier players at DeSoto, and those guys have enormous hit rates. And not only at Texas A&M, but across college football. Like, you go and you recruit really good players from DeSoto, they work out often. It's a huge testament to their program, the expectations in their program, and how they are brought up from a young, as a teenager, the expectations of them day to day, they translate well to college football. I think Tiger is just steady Eddie. You know what you're going to get. Could he serve like an E.J. Smith role for this team?
Right.
Where maybe he's not leading the team in carries week in, week out, but when he touches the football, they're important.
Important touches.
To move the sticks.
Yep.
Maybe he's in on, maybe he's good in pass protection. He's really
Special
smart.
teams.
Yeah, like there's a role for Tiger Ryden touching the football and also not touching the football on this team that I think can be really, really important. Everybody, I had a team source describe Tiger Ryden as a pile puller. Now, why is that important? Because it turns a 3rd and 3 into a first down.
Yep.
And if he's that guy, then there's huge value for him on this team.
All right, we'll hit a break. One final segment here on the Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. There's recording family stories, and there is what Heritage Films does, which is they just not only tell your story, they do it in a 2-hour documentary form. You got Army veteran Chance McClain, who doesn't just interview people, he immerses himself in your world, whether it's timber farming in Oregon or cattle ranches in Texas or just a good old boy here right down the road in College Station. He and his team do amazing work telling family stories. And to our TexAgs audience, part of the reason his company exists is because what you guys do. Aggies love telling their stories, and they care differently. And that's why family-owned business like Chance's loves to tell your story. Check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com. That is yourheritagefilm.com. Call them up, 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341. It's Heritage Films.
I'm Wes Mangan, and I live on a piece of property with my wife and 2 boys and several animals. I work in oil and gas, and I travel a lot, and so when I come home, it's like my sanctuary. I get to see Lauren and the boys, and it's been just a perfect fit for us, and it's really improved our family time. And this is the first land I'd ever purchased, so dealing with the land side of things and dealing with Capital Farm Credit was super easy for us through the whole process. I definitely feel like with Capital Farm Credit, together we are better.
At Brazos Valley Floor and Design, the Morrow family has helped Bryan College Station homeowners remodel with confidence for over 25 years, backed by the Adore Your Floor guarantee.
When you're ready to update a kitchen, refresh a living room, or renovate the whole house, come see the latest in flooring, from designer carpet to laminate, luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, and tile.
We're 2 generations, hands-on from design to installation.
Brazos Valley Floor and Design, best floor and design since 1999.
And that's a promise.
We're back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Want to give a shout out, if you don't mind, to 2 people. First off, my brother Alex. Happy birthday. August 5th is his birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños, Alex.
He's not only my best friend, my mentor. Alex, happy birthday. I hope you have a great one. And
is he fit?
He is fit. Yeah, he's fit.
Better shape than you?
He would destroy me in jiu-jitsu.
Better looking than you?
No, come on.
I want a lot of things on record. This internet's a permanent place. This is going to live forever.
He's a good-looking dude, but he's great at jiu-jitsu. He's, I think, a black belt. So he would kill me.
So maybe you'd be nice to him on
I'm always
radio.
nice to him. He's my big brother. So happy birthday to him. And my niece, Valentina, who lives in Orlando, Adrian's daughter, and Annie, his beautiful wife. So she had a birthday yesterday. I was supposed to call last night. I haven't done it, so I'm going to do it after the show.
Wow.
Shout out to Valentina.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Thank you
Valentina.
very much. We got some football to get into text-wise, so let's go straight to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center.
Yeah, so we got a really nice text, actually, the complete opposite. They said, this isn't the same Aggie program as years past. Another year of Moffitt, a more experienced Marcel, firepower across the board, absolute madmen in the coach's office. Come on, 2026 Aggies.
Look, that is a nice text message, but I thought it was going to be about us, and now my ego has taken yet another hit. Hey, don't think that I didn't clock what you did in the last segment. I just was nice and avoided talking about. Oh yeah,
I didn't do a thing.
Yes, you did, Nick. What soundbite did we play last segment? Who asked the question to get the soundbite?
Well, we always play, David's question, OB's question.
Yeah,
we've played Richard's question.
I played Carter's question earlier.
Okay, I'm just saying it was. There's been accusations about your ego in this show, and then you so happen to play the question that you asked Coach Elko. And great question, by the way.
Thank you.
Ego aside, great question.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, everybody on TV and radio has an ego, right? I'm just telling you.
I knew that I could just pick at it. It's like it's been festering.
I know I have one. I'm okay with it.
There's a certain element to this, honestly. There are some crossovers between my jobs and like how you act and behave. Like, I don't think you're a completely different human being on air, but you have to be like a little bit of a souped up version of yourself on air.
Animated version, yeah.
Yeah, and that's no different like with coaching. One of the greatest pieces of advice that I ever got with coaching when I first started with 12 was there shouldn't ever be a parent in the stands that thinks they can do what you do. So if that involves a little bit of bravado and a little bit of showmanship, then do it. Because in what we're in an industry where they're paying for us to coach their kids, they want to get a return on that investment. But there is something to that, like where when I come on radio or B team, whatever, like you're a little bit of more of a
and ego can mean multiple things. It doesn't necessarily have to mean cocky.
Sure, there's
like you're allowed to get your feelings hurt. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed. You're allowed to respond.
Nick, this is going to be a long 2 hours, brother.
It's going to be the best. And I like this one, a 979 sends in David. Classic 1980 assisted living. Really? This is David, class of 81. Wow. I got
my dad's class of 80.
So, I mean, it's possible. These places are great.
Listen, this guy took a shot at you, so you went completely over the top.
It was a different guy who responded.
No, but the original.
I will always match energy. If you're sweet, I'll be sweet too. You're rude, I'm going to go rude. Hey, you can't take criticism. Well, you can't take a response, bro.
This has been a fun hour.
But people like the locker room talk. We got another text about that. So appreciate you, Bronny. It's been a great week, man. Thank you. Tomorrow on the show, Richard Zane. Moving ahead, Amanda Christovich talking a little college football and the Protect College Sports Act. That's next on TexAgs. So are we going to protect college sports or what? Welcome back into TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 2 of the program. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Amanda Christovich from Front Office Sports joins us here on the program. Amanda, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining us. All right. Tell me how to feel, because I don't know how to feel, because every time I read something, I change my mind. On Friday afternoon, I'm like, it's over. College football's dead. Then Friday night at 7, we get the 5 and 5 and this and that, and all these things are changing. And yes, the SEC and the Big Ten are in. Then I read some things. Well, they still haven't really figured things out. They changed some language, yada, yada. Where are we? Should I feel good?
Well, I think you should feel good if you enjoy chaos and no issues getting resolved. Essentially where we are right now with this bill in Congress, right, that has promised everybody to be the savior of college sports. We were told Friday night that because the Big Ten and the SEC were on board, there would be an easy legislative path with enough senators, Democrat and Republican, to pass this bill through the Senate by the end of this week. And that's important because the Senate goes on recess on August 7th, and they don't come back until September, and then we're in midterm season. So it's like considered almost impossible to get anything done between then and the end of the year. So we were told that this process would be initiated as early as Monday. It is now Wednesday. It has not been initiated. Shock of shocks to all of us. The Senate has other things that they need to be doing. There are several competing priorities, all of which, they want to get done by the end of the week. So I would say it is very unlikely that this bill gets out of the Senate, which is the next step to getting, any sort of rules, whether you like the rules in the bill or not. Any sort of rules. And as far as this eligibility lawsuit is concerned, I've been talking to folks across the industry who, are basically operating as if they're preparing to be able to add more players from the class of 2022 to their football rosters, to their basketball rosters. And so they're waiting to hear if there's going to be a successful appeal from the NCAA. We have no timeline on that. It could be quick, it could be slow. It's just dependent upon the courts. So yeah, kind of long answer to the short question, but no clear rules will be put in place anytime soon, as far as I can see.
All right, so let's play this out. Let's say that, and Nick, by the way, I'm hearing myself in an echo for some reason. But anyway, let's just say that they don't get to vote this week. When will they be able to vote? Are we talking about a whole calendar year, basically, and next summer? Is that where we're at?
Well, I'm already being floated this idea from sources that they could try to vote in September in the Senate and then send the bill to the House, and then the House is to do their whole song and dance, right? So there is a very unlikely but, existent path to get this bill to Trump's desk by the end of this calendar year. If not, they will have to reintroduce the bill in the next Congress. And I mean, they don't have to wait until next summer. It could, they could pass the bill at any point. But we really just don't know based on the legislative priorities, especially that will change after the midterms. So, the idea, like, we are 100% going to have another football season at least, and probably basketball season too, where, there is no federal legislation.
So you mean this 26 fall for sure? Okay, so the earliest, if anything happened, would be, and that would be still super early, start of 27.
I would think so. Okay. Because think of it this way: even if by some miracle the Senate is able to pass the Protect College Sports Act this week, it still has to go to the House, right? And then it has to go to Trump. And the House has their own issues with this bill. It is possible that House leadership will be amenable to it now that the SEC in particular has signed on. Steve Scalise is a Louisiana representative, and an LSU guy, so that could help. But football season starts in less than a month. So there's no way that you're getting this bill through the House and then, to Trump's desk and then signed by Trump by week 0 or week 1,
Right.
So safe to say that this is not that we are going to have the 2026 football season that is coming up with the same lack of rules, regulations, and restrictions as we had last year.
And let's just play it out again. It gets approved. House, Senate, yay, Trump signs it. There's going to be lawsuits afterwards, right? Because there's going to be people who are like, no, you can't cap us. You can't do this. You can't stop a conference from getting bigger, whatever it may be.
Yeah, look, the folks in the Senate are doing everything they can from like a legal and legislative perspective to include provisions in the law that would protect against litigation. But as we've seen, the lawyers in college sports are extremely creative. So there are grounds by which they could challenge the constitutionality of this law once it is passed. And I imagine that folks are already looking to prepare to do so. The biggest challenge would have been if this law had said that players are not employees under the law. That I actually literally know the lawyer that would file a lawsuit to challenge that. However, the Protect College Sports Act is very specifically new. There's a neutrality clause on athlete employment status. So I don't think that particular avenue would be something that would be challenged. But of course, there are going to be other ideas. And the Senate is basically playing whack-a-mole right now, trying to include as many. The bill's 171 pages. And so they're doing everything they can to anticipate any potential litigation or challenges or what have you. But it's impossible to I guess anticipate everything that could come from this.
Amanda, did you get any insight to why the SEC changed their mind and the Big Ten?
Well, it seemed by that 11th hour on Friday night that the holdup really was about the language in the bill about revenue sharing and the cap and how to legislate the cap and make sure that the cap wasn't, circumventable, right? Which surprised me because for all this time, we were all under the impression that the biggest concerns that the Big Ten and the SEC had with the bill was related to the fact that they were called out in this expansion provision, that they would be prevented from a merger, and that they would, there was this pooling of the media rights option that they were not interested in, and they were worried that they were going to be forced into, even though the bill said it was optional. It seemed that throughout the week, the provisions and the amendments that were offered with related to those issues, were enough for them. But for 24 to 48 hours, it was really about this cap circumvention. And obviously I wasn't in the room, but I think I can just imagine that the university presidents at these leagues probably said, okay, we've gotten more than a dozen amendments to satisfy our particular concerns, cap circumvention, media rights, etc. So are we really going to still be against this bill, which the senators are telling us is our only chance of federal legislation in the next year? Is it really better to have nothing than to have something that is imperfect? And I think that they basically signed on because they said, we don't, something is better than nothing, right? So I think that's just my observation. I didn't have anyone telling me that, but it really was the cap circumvention.
Amanda, do you see a scenario? Okay, because it looks like it's going to be a little delayed now. It feels like it's going to be at least until 27, but we'll see, because I didn't think Friday was going to happen, and Friday ended up happening. But do you see a world where Clemson, Florida State, Miami, whoever, they're like, okay, I don't want to wait 5 years to enter a conference and not be in a conference if I really want to move to the SEC or the Big Ten? Do you see them trying to, even though there's the grant of rights is until 2031, excuse me. Do you see them trying to expedite that process because this is looming?
I mean, maybe, but it's kind of like it's kind of like dating in the sense that like they might want to expedite the process, but if the Big Ten, if they don't have any offers from the Big Ten and the SEC, then like nobody, you have to have the other party willing to take you out. So I don't really see that process being necessarily successful unless something changes, in the eyes of the Big Ten or the SEC. There is a provision that allows for, in this bill, obviously there's the 5-year thing, but it allows for up to 19 members in terms of expansion for these big power leagues. So it doesn't like completely take the concept of expansion off the table. But, it's like the Big Ten and the SEC have to be willing to take these schools out. And I just don't really see that happening at this particular point.
All right, so put your crystal ball or look into it. What do you think is going to happen in the next month, in the next 6 months, in the next year when it comes to the Protect College Sports Act, or maybe just the future of college athletics?
Okay. So next month, within the next month, within the next week, I don't think this bill is going to advance through the Senate by Saturday. There's just too much else going on in the Senate right now. I think there is a very slim chance that it gets passed, but there is a possibility that it gets passed before the end of the calendar year through the Senate. I really have no prediction at this point to get it through the House. I'd have to see sort of what the tenor of my sources are on the House side, who I haven't really been focusing on because the bill's in the Senate. If this doesn't happen by the midterms, I think it's going to be back to square one, because regardless, the midterms are predicted by many, political folks to change the makeup of Congress in some way. And that is going to create a bunch of new dynamics. So it's like they might have to write a new bill. I don't know. So I think that if this bill doesn't get passed, then what federal legislation is off the table for the next year. I think as far as the eligibility issue is concerned, I think it would have behooved the NCAA to get ahead of this and offer a waiver. Instead, we're going to be sitting here and waiting for this appeal process to go through, which could be okay for basketball, but for football, I'm talking to sources who are okay, our training camp started and we can still add a guy if we have a roster spot. That's crazy, but it seems the NCAA just wants to fight this out in court. So no clarity there either. But hey, we're still going to have football in a few weeks. So things could be worse.
By the way, I haven't seen anybody add a player from 22 on a football roster yet. Have you seen that yet? Has it happened?
No. It kind of sounds to me, and I'm going to have a story coming out about this, but the sources that I've talked to, it sounds to me like everyone is sort of doing research and preparing for what players might be available to them or what players they might be interested in. And again, this is only for teams that have roster spots, right? Because you can't go above the roster limit. But I think everyone's kind of in a holding pattern right now. It's they're ready to pull the trigger if and when their conference or this appeal comes through and they get some sort of official word that they have legal protection to add a player. So everyone's kind of in the research mode, right? And they're getting ready to figure out who they would want to add, but nobody's done it yet.
And am I understanding it correctly? If you sign a professional contract, that is now voided. So what if you got invited to a training camp or to an OTA and then you get cut? You still cannot come back to college football.
Correct. If you've signed a professional contract, you are no longer eligible. And it's the same with basketball. So whatever the eligibility rules for professional, any sort of professional contract in any sport were before this ruling didn't change that.
Gotcha. Amanda, great work. If we talk again in the next couple of weeks, that means good news for at least if you believe in the Protect College Sports Act. But it sounds like it may be a little while till we get that through. I appreciate your time as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
See ya. Amanda Christovich there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We will come back with a lot more here on TexAgs Live. In fact, we're going to hear from ABR. I interviewed him yesterday on our huddle on Texas Aggies United. You'll get to hear part of that here on TexAgs Live. When it comes to your money and your peace of mind, it starts with the right team. That right team should be and is Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients in Texas and across the country with no commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. They have a team of 18 professionals, including 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, and their expertise does run deep at Paragon because credentials matter, and so does your future. Check out the website, paragon-adv.com, or give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Everyone, David Nuno here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever, and also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group, and they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. Hey guys, David Nuno here to talk about our new partners with EventPipe. They are a leader in hotel booking technology, and now they're giving you a chance to support Aggie student athletes every time that you travel. Thanks to their partnership with United and EventPipe, whether you're heading into a game, a business trip, or family vacation, every room that you book comes with cash back in the pockets of Aggie athletes. That's a wonderful deal. And with EventPipe, you'll get discounted hotel rates up to 20% lower than the major travel sites while enjoying a fast, easy booking process. They've even created Presto, EventPipe's quick launch booking solution. It lets organizations build branded hotel sites powered by live hotel inventory, making it simple to book the perfect stay. So next time you want to book a trip, do it the smart way with EventPipe and support Texas Aggies NIL through United. Visit their website, tau.eventpipe.com. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Nick, so there has been somebody from the 22 class that did sign to come back, and it's from the national champions.
Yeah, Stephen Daly from the Hoosiers coming back, obviously a freshman in 2022. Pretty productive for them last year, 35 total tackles, had 5.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and they literally put out a video for him yesterday, and I think he was the first kind of notable player to take advantage of this new rule, and Kurt Signetti doing the same, bringing back some veteran depth. So that's at least the one I've seen. Maybe there's more on a lower level, but that one I think the most notable so far.
But no professional contract. He didn't try out. He didn't get drafted. No,
I guess not. No.
Okay. All right. So there is somebody there, and there will definitely be more, especially situations where guys were maybe going into the workforce, really good, productive college football players, maybe not NFL level. For their respective programs, and they're like, you know what, I can play another year. Let's go. So I'm sure we'll see more of that where there's a need. All right, let's listen to ABR. Had Ashton Bethel-Roman in studio yesterday. We chit-chatted about the offseason. He's put on some muscle, guys. Forget how much he told me. He'll say it in the interview. Like, was it 10? You weren't here yesterday, Nick. I think it's like 10 to 13 pounds, around that range. He looks good. He feels ready to roll. Here's my interview with Ashton Bethel-Roman. Hey friends, and welcome into The Huddle, brought to you by TexAgs and United. Our guest is Ashton Bethel-Roman. ABR, what up, man?
What's going on?
How are you?
Doing good.
So I was telling you, when we were at SEC Media Days, people were talking a lot about you. Like, man, this guy's about to be a breakout performer. I'm like, dude, did you see him last year? He was already a breakout performer. How do you feel entering this year where your game's at?
I feel more mature. I feel like I've definitely learned and developed more throughout like my college career and my collegiate career. Like I feel more mature in how things work. I know how things work, how things operate, stuff like that.
I'd like to get inside your head on some of the plays you make, man. Like, do you even know you're doing things when you're doing it? Is it just instinct, like that catch at LSU with your left hand or the diving catch against South Carolina, whatever it may be? Like, you're just in the moment, right? There's not a thought process. This is what I got to do. You just do it.
Nah, I just do it. I don't. Like, it's like your brain moves so fast when, like, in the heat of the moment. Your brain moves so fast. So, like, for the LSU catch, which, to be honest, wasn't that it. Like, I feel like the South Carolina one was more impressive. I think that was, like, the craziest catch I've ever made in my life because of how difficult it was in the heat of the moment. But, like, the LSU one, like, I'm running across the field. The ball gets thrown. I see it's a little behind me, and then my body just reacts to it. And then when I caught it, like after the fact, like when the game was over and I watched the clip, I was like,
"Oh, that's pretty cool."
I was like, "That's kind of live," but all in all, I don't think it was more impressive than the South Carolina one. That was over my shoulder. I couldn't really see the ball diving, and we were down by like 30. So
yeah. Oh, I don't know if you all win that game without that catch. Like. You dominated the second half, but I feel like that play right there kind of, like, you guys were going to win that game after that catch.
Yeah, honestly, when I knew that we was going to win that game was when Isaiah Williams scored his first TUD. I was like, man, nothing could go wrong after this. Like, I was so excited. I was happy. I almost cried. I'm not going to lie. I almost cried when he did that. But that's when I knew we was going to win that game. But that catch definitely helped. That was probably a good morale booster. Like, yeah.
So camp starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel physically?
I feel huge, man. Like I feel
in a good way, right?
Yeah. I used to be scared to gain like a whole bunch of weight, but it's good. Like Coach Moffitt, he like an uncle to me because he coached my dad when he was at LSU. But he been working me like a dog, man. I ain't gonna lie. And I put on probably like 10, 12 pounds. And it's all good weight. And then I also maintain my speed. I probably got faster, honestly.
Got faster?
Yeah, I probably did.
And more powerful?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like my bench, ooh, I got strong, man.
Yeah?
I got strong.
What is that like? You've played college ball at a certain size. You played extremely well last year. But now you have like these new weapons you've added to your arsenal. Like, and you get to test it out tomorrow.
Yeah, for me, it was more so like, it was like the eye candy perspective. Like, I played at like 185, 180, around that area last year. And I didn't have a problem with it, so to speak. It's just like when I look at the TV copy, I look kind of scrawny. And I was like, yeah, I need to like put on a couple more pounds so I look the part. So that was really my thought process. Like I'm trying to, of course, I want to get stronger, you know, get faster, get more physical, stuff like that. I mean, it's all gonna come with the game, but like I just wanted to look more of the part of like a SEC receiver. That was my thought process.
Well, you're not the only one who put on some muscle in that weight room, right? Or in that wide receiver room. Mario put on some muscle, right?
He did. You'd be surprised at some of us. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So when I go out there, because I saw you guys in the spring, so even from the spring to now, I'll be looking at practice and be like, dude, these guys put on some muscle.
One person who is freakishly strong is Terry. Like that's because he's from the country, though. That's the only reason why.
He's country strong?
He's from Timpson. All they got to do is lift hay over there and stuff. So that's why he's so strong. It don't even make sense what he be doing. But yeah, Terry probably the strongest. I'm probably second, though.
Okay.
I'm probably this bench. I'm probably second.
So people are talking about this wide receiver room. Okay, they're saying like it could be the deepest in the SEC, which I think it will be. Talk to me about the room overall and what the expectations you guys have.
Man, I think we some Danimals, man. Like I feel like we got all types of stuff, which is it's just so convenient. Like we got a true X in Zay, because like he's like 6'3", 6'4", 220, like he's huge. We got a Swiss Army knife with Terry. We got Rio, who is a shifty guy who could also blow the top off. And then we got me, who I blow the top off and do other things in the intermediate, and with intermediate route, stuff like that. And Yak about to be crazy this year. But like we got so many weapons, and I just hope all of them get used, and I feel like they will with Coach Wigg. I think he got a good offense set up for us to work and go be great.
Will we notice something different about the offense, you think?
Maybe
some tempo?
I could only expect. I think Wiggins gonna call plays a little differently than Coach Klein, but they is two different people, so I don't know. But I guess we'll see. Whenever the first game is, we'll see then, I guess.
Yeah, we'll absolutely see then. And what about Marcel? What do you think will catch our eye about where he is now?
I'd probably say his maturity when it comes to it too. I feel like he's grown. People always say like he's not a passing quarterback, which I don't really understand. He plays quarterback, but
threw for over 3,000 yards.
Yeah, I don't really get that, but he's definitely matured in terms of like how he reads defenses and how he communicates with us, like with us receivers, tight ends, running backs, what he sees, what his perspective is. And like I feel like Coach Wigg is giving him like a lot of Coach Lynch is giving him a lot of freedom for him to like more so absorb the game in the right way. And I feel like it's helping us and helping him the most. So I expect great things from Marcel.
So you were here, Elko's first year, second year. You know what a good team looks like. Can you sit here the day before fall camp starts and be like, we got just as good of a team as we had last year? Like can you tell that already, or is fall camp going to be what really answers that question?
I could tell, like, because when I look at the team last year, how many guys got drafted? Like 13?
10 guys got drafted. 14 went to the combine.
Yeah, like I can't say off of like we got a unit right now. Like, we got a unit. I'm not gonna know, especially because I was kind of out for the majority of spring due to my shoulder. So I won't be able to. I can't like really say like this team's better than that team. But we got a unit right now. You talk about those guys last year, like Cassius Howell, KC, Chase Besantis. Like those were guys. Like those were seasoned guys. But I think this team we got right now, I think the sky's the limit. Of course, I just hope we just gotta all put it together and work cohesively, and the sky is the limit.
Do you pay attention to the schedule, or nah? Just what comes?
No, I don't pay attention to the schedule at all. Like last year, we would play, we'd get done with the game. I come back on Monday, and I'm seeing who we played today. They put it up on the board. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's cool. I mean, like before, like now, like I see it, like I probably see like we play Arizona State. I'm like, okay, I don't know when, but I know we play them. I know we play LSU. I know we play Bama. I don't know when, but I know we play them. Actually, that's a lot. I know there's this 5-game stretch. It's crazy that I'm excited for towards the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like OU, Bama.
You got Tennessee in there.
Yeah, or like like South Carolina too or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did see that, which I'm excited for. Them road games. I'm excited for them road games, but usually I don't pay attention. I don't like have it marked out on the calendar. I'm just a baller. I just go out there and play.
How much is so last year as we were getting close to the season, the talk was about finish. And although you didn't finish the way you guys wanted to last year, it was a stronger finish in November. How much of an emphasis is, hey, we got to be finishing in December and in January?
It's definitely a big emphasis, especially because I've been here since Elko got here. So it's like I remember when we were climbing ourselves up the ranks my freshman year, and then losing to Auburn, and South Carolina, and then Texas. So I remember that feeling, and then I remember actually involving myself more my sophomore year, going undefeated, and then losing to Texas and Miami, and getting to the playoffs, stuff like that. So I just feel like we're just gonna climb. Like we're gonna keep setting the tone. Like we're gonna keep surpassing our previous goals. I feel like that's what it's gonna be. And like they say like the third time is the charm. So like yeah, the third time's a charm.
Well, I can't wait to see you tomorrow, man, and the rest of the way. You've grown up and become a real stud. Well, you always were. You know that, right? But yeah, look, you're all big and strong, lifting a lot. Like, I'm proud of you, man. Thank you for coming in.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you. Ashton Bethel-Roman right here on The Hunt. All right, appreciate his time here in the studio as I made it awkward at the end of the interview. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. Luke Evangelist live from Rupp Arena? I don't know. It's blue. It's very blue. So we'll talk to, no, he's in the Bahamas. We'll chat with him here in a moment. Now, a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. That's the place to go when you're looking for your trade-in, right? You got a car at home that you are ready to move on from, or maybe you're looking for a car for your kiddos. They're of that age where they need to start driving, and you just want to get some good pricing from good people. That's Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They can handle all the jobs you're out there looking for, right? So if you're looking for a kid, if you're trying to do it for a business, if you're just ready to get yourself an upgrade, let's go to Caldwell Country Chevrolet, where they're going to give you a great trade-in value and amazing customer service. It's not a far drive. When you go out there, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's talk a little Aggie basketball as they continue their preseason, right? It's the preseason in the Bahamas. And our great reporter, Luke Evangelist, is basically reporting everything that they're doing, from eating to beach activity to all the nonsense. Luke is now joining us on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline from a very nice-looking fake Rupp Arena. Luke, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Yeah, this is the arena that's been constructed here in the Baha Mar Convention Center. As you can see, low ceiling, bright lights, definitely a different look. But yeah, happy to report that the team did wake up this morning and they ate breakfast and all the ankles look strong.
All right, I'm kind of being funny and serious here. If TexAgs would have rolled out a team to play against the Aggies yesterday, let's say Billy, Olin, Nuno, Luke, Bronny, or Zane and Nick, okay? Right. I know we would have lost by 50, 60, 80, 100 points, but would it have been closer than what we saw yesterday?
You know, we probably would have lost by 120 with how A&M played yesterday. I know the level of competition is not, you know, really comparable to anything that A&M's going to face in the game that matters this year. I think the teams they're playing right now, these foreign teams, they are teams that have won the college national championship either last year, like Carleton did, who they're about to play, 2 years ago, like Victoria did, or they won Columbia's top professional league, like the Toros did yesterday. But obviously, we know that the best American, like South American and North American players are just going to go straight to college basketball. So it's no surprise that the level of competition here is not the best, but it's okay because it's really about A&M working on themselves. And I thought without any other outside circumstances, no matter who they were playing yesterday, that was the most complete 40-minute effort that we've seen from an A&M team so far in the Bahamas. That first game, they had that probably 8-minute lapse against Victoria. But yesterday they were firing on all cylinders. And that's really what you want to see is, can these guys stay locked in for 40 minutes when they're up by 40, 50, 60, 70 points? And I really liked A&M's effort for all 40 minutes yesterday, and we'll see if they can do it again on short rest.
Through 2 days or 2 games, I should say, what's the biggest confirmation of what you thought this team could be? Again, I preface everything understanding that the level of opponent is not what they're going to face, but just from what the basketball looks like.
I mean, from what the basketball looks like, if you've watched these games, it should validate everything we've been saying about how good the guard play is. I mean, we've talked all offseason about the revamped backcourt. You bring in PJ Haggerty since December. Tyshawn Archie came over from McNeese. You've got Jalen Reese from LSU. Bryson Warren, who is yet to play because he's still awaiting NCAA eligibility, is a high-volume three-point shooter. And then Lucas Walls, another low-volume, high-percentage three-point shooter. So their backcourt is a lot more versatile than it was last year, where it was a lot of live and die by the three. But if you shelled out the $30 for the Flow Sports subscription, you've seen it firsthand that there's a lot more slashing ability and they can get downhill, and they're going to be at the free throw line a lot more. So if you've been watching, or if you've just been following along with the coverage and not seeing it with your own two eyes, just don't be surprised in November when you see this team for their first real game, just how much better the guard play is than last year.
So obviously I'm not going to overreact, none of us should, to great scoring, bad scoring, good free throws, bad free throws, but there was an improvement from the 50% to the 80%, and I'm sure Bucky was happy to see that.
Yeah, Bucky was thrilled with that. I mean, he loved that they got to the line 60 times yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I was hanging out with the ref from the game last night at the blackjack tables, and let's just say he was pretty on board with there being 60 free throw attempts for A&M. That was a really physical game, and when you're physically outmatched, you have to foul more to stop the men. I mean, I don't know if they're not on the court yet, but when they do, like, to stop Mackenzie and Baco, you have to get two hands on him and wrap them up. And so it looked like a football game at times, but A&M was more aggressive getting downhill. They got more calls than they got in the first game. And then ultimately when they got to the line, they made their opponent pay. So they shot 58% in the first game, getting to the line 33 times. And in the most free throw attempts that I think I've ever seen in a game with 60 attempts, they shot 80%. So a lot better from the free throw line. And that's what you're going to need from this team, because If they're not going to be as great of a 3-point shooting team, they better be better inside the arc and getting to the paint, getting to the line, and then making those free throws.
I want to get back to basketball here in a second, but can you just kind of tell me what your day looks like? Because I heard blackjack table. I think there's been a beach outing. So, like, I know you're doing a lot of work, so I'm not trying to be funny here.
Yes.
But like, what does it look like there for you? What does it look like for the team?
Okay, so I think me and the team have pretty similar schedules. Like, I'm eating team meals with them. I'm seeing what they're up to. And when I'm at the beach, they're at the beach. When I'm at the blackjack tables, they're in their room sleeping. So for me, if I'm not covering a game here, I'm walking around the beautiful Bahamas. I'm gambling my life savings away, and I'm chilling at the water park, going around the lazy river. Look, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm having a blast here. Like, I'm doing my job. I'm working. I'm covering games, and I'm interviewing players. It is just really fun to be around the team and hang out with them and just enjoy a beautiful vacation here with them. And you can see the team chemistry coming together, and that's been really fun to watch. But yes, my typical day does enjoy a lot more leisure than actual work.
Hey, what time is it there, by the way? I'm just curious, like the difference in time zone.
It is 10:43. We're an hour ahead.
Okay, so you're Eastern time. Okay. So yeah, I want to go back to Tyshawn Archie for a moment. You've been high on him for a while. And specifically this weekend too. So, or this week, I should say. What stands out about the way he plays that really catches your attention?
He just sees the game so well. Like, the thing with buckyball guards is they need to have a high processing speed because the decisions they're making are a lot quicker. The reads they're having to make are a lot quicker than a normal system because of how fast they play. And everything about Tyshawn Archie is fast. You look at what he does offensively, he is just a guy that can score in bunches. Like, I don't want to say if there's a 3-point shooting contest and I have to bank on one player on this team, once they get really hot to not miss, it's Tyshawn Archie. Like, I guess the way you can equate it is like in NBA 2K, like when he gets that heating up icon, he just doesn't miss. And so when he gets hot, you saw it at the end of the first half, he hit back-to-back threes in about 25 seconds. He really does not miss. And so people are going to underestimate him because he's like 6'1", 140 pounds. And defensively, he's really aggressive on the point of attack, but he's got some work to do in the half court, guarding one-on-one. But you love him on the press. And he's going to play a lot of minutes for what he does offensively because when you take PJ Haggerty and Jalen Reese off the floor, here comes Tyshawn Archie, who can get a shot off from 30-plus feet and rain threes, drive by opponents, and use his speed to get to the hoop. And then he makes his free throws at an 85% clip. So he's the perfect energizer bunny and like spark plug guard to have off the bench. And I cannot be more high on Tyshawn Archie. And he's really proved it this week. I mean, he had 21 points in like 19 minutes yesterday, 4 assists, sees the game well, can shoot the ball well. And don't be surprised because of his size. But I think he's really going to hold up well in the SEC because of what he does offensively.
Luke, I don't know if you've done research on this or not, so I apologize for the question off the cuff. But how have teams in college basketball done when they get this extra preseason, right? This little pre-tour. Like, I know Buzz had one a couple years back when he was here at A&M. Does it typically help? Does it matter? I feel like it would help a team that looks brand new with almost a completely new roster again.
Yeah, I don't have any like statistical data that will tell you it helps, but from all the coaches that I've talked to, they say it helps. And this staff is really excited that they get to go on a foreign tour this year because it's exactly what this team needed. Look, they were probably going to play each other in practice this week anyways. So I think it's better that they're playing a different team because they've been inflicting this style on each other. So sometimes it's good to, even if the competition isn't great, to just get out of the country, relax a little bit, and then go play someone with another jersey on. So these foreign tours can be really beneficial on the court, but where I think you're really going to see the most benefit is off the court. Team bonding, spending an entire week on vacation with each other. These guys are going to the water park. They're hanging out 24/7. And there's something about just being in a low-stress environment that'll bring a team together. And I've already seen the team chemistry come a long way since I got here. So for a team with half of returners, half newcomers, I think this is the perfect time to go on a foreign tour and get to know each other even more than they did just in College Station. But definitely the staff is excited that they get to be here, and they love that they'll have a good baseline in August to then say, okay, when we come back from our break, when school starts up in late August, here's 3 games of film that we can have, coach up our team on, and then get better from.
Hey, Luke, before I let you go, when they take on Master Will's cousin Carlton, what are, dad joke, sorry, apologies. What are some things you're looking for?
Well, Carlton's not the biggest team. Toros yesterday was like the only team here that really has like muscle inside and like 6'10 plus. So I'm looking for A&M to really dominate physically inside. Like Jamie Vincent, who was dominant in the first game. In the first half, he had like 10 points, 3 offensive rebounds, and 3 blocks in like 7 minutes. So I'm looking for a high impact from A&M bigs. I want to see Cade Phillips get more physical. I feel like he hasn't really emerged yet here in the Bahamas. And then I want to see a little bit more from Josh Irving. He has really impressed me in practice, but he's had a couple of freshman moments here in the Bahamas. So I just want to see A&M's bigs get a little bit more physical and really dominate inside. We've seen a lot from the guards, but this is a game much like the first one where I think the bigs may take over here.
Good stuff, Luke. Great work. Enjoy your trip. We'll talk to you. Do you come back tomorrow?
Yeah, I get back around like 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Well, safe travels. We'll talk to you then.
Yep. Thank you, David. And I'll have a Mai Tai in your honor.
Yeah, please do. Please do. And bring one for me. All right, let's hit a break here. When we come back, we'll have an open segment. I do want to ask a question. This is live spot time, but I have a question for both Kaylee and Nick. You guys ever go to a restaurant and, like, you start getting full, and you're like, all right, I'm not going to keep eating. But it's in front of you, and you just keep eating? And you're like, why am I doing that? I want to take it home, but I can't stop. There's an extra French fry or the burger. Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes.
Yes. Happens a lot, right? Nick?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I mean, this is a true story. I went with Annalise and Isla to Bubba's 33 on Friday night, all right? And we got the wings, because I always get the wings when I go there. And then we got burgers. And I had, all 3 of us, had so many wings that when we got to the burgers, like, all right, we're just going to have half the burger. We went all in, and we were so stuffed, but it was so good. Bubba's 33 is awesome. You need to check it out. They have late night bites, discounted menu favorites for late night cravings. They're available from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. On Sunday through Thursday, and Thursday at 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Friday and Saturday. So no happy hour needed. They have $5 drink specials all day and every day. It's the place to go for great food, TVs all around. And I'm telling you, you're going to love the atmosphere. The food is delicious. It is Bubba's 33 on Highway 6 in College Station. Go check them out. Hey friends, David Nuno here, talking to my buddies. I got Sheldon and Danny Shelley of Aggieland Hydration. Sheldon, I want to start off with you. What is different about Aggieland Hydration?
So we're a 100% mobile IV company. We are opening a storefront later this year in Bryan College Station, but we come to you, and we have about 10 nurses that serve the area.
Danny, what's one thing that people get wrong about IV hydration?
The one thing I would say is everyone thinks the needle stays in your arm the whole time. So when you get poked with the needle goes away, a small little catheter stays in, and that's how you get your infusion.
And then Sheldon, do you guys do a bunch of events? Are you all around town?
Yes, we did the Troubadour Festival. We try to do one event a month in the Bryan College Station area.
That's great. That's why we see you everywhere. Danny, what's the best drip for somebody who's active, who thinks they're active? Weekend warrior, like what's the best drip out there?
Yeah, so our overall wellness strip is our Myers cocktail. It has 6 different vitamins in it. That's what I would say for your average adult. People who are big into working out, or if they work outside a lot, I would recommend the Maroon Muscle Recovery. That one has 10 different vitamins in it, and it's really geared towards recovery and removing toxins from the body.
All right, so if somebody wants to check you out, what's the website?
It is AggielandHydration&Injectables.com.
All right, the phone number, by the way, is 979-217-1561. It is Aggieland Hydration. Back here on TexAgs Live, we're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Kaylee Dreyer, tell us something good.
I do have one other thing I know today is mainly all about football, but I did just want to say tonight is Bobby Shuttleworth's first game at Ellis Field. The Aggies host UIW in their first exhibition game. And on Saturday, they travel to Austin to play Texas for their second exhibition game, which it's interesting because the Aggies don't play Texas in the regular season, so this is the only time.
Maybe that's why
play
they
them,
said it, because I don't remember them playing much in the exhibition season before. And their season, I believe, the official start is next Wednesday. Am I right about that?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it's next Wednesday. We're going to have Coach Shuttleworth on the show.
August 12th, they travel to Rice.
Yes,
next. So next Wednesday.
Yes.
And appreciate Coach Shuttleworth on this program. I do want to. I think we have time to play the bite. Do we have enough? Yeah, we have time. It's only a 30-second soundbite. Here's Coach Elko talking about the defense. Richard Zane asked a great question because at the end of last season, Coach Elko was like, we got to look at what we do to make sure that we can teach this defense better so some of these mistakes that have happened don't happen. And he kind of chuckles at the question because, well, we've been working on that for months. We're at a different phase of it. So here's Coach Elko breaking down what the defense could look like.
We looked at how we were teaching, how we were coaching everything to try to put it in ways that our kids could play faster, freer, and more consistent. You do that every year. Last year, in particular, to the run game and making sure that we tighten some of that stuff up, we felt like was really important. Obviously, as we stand here today, I think we did it. I think we did it the right way. But until you get into the fire and the rigors of the season, that you can't judge and evaluate that stuff now. You've got to let it play out over time.
So if you trust in the Coach Elko process and you trust in what he's doing, which I do, and I think many of you do too, because first off, we have seen in his first 2 years this growth. Going back to the commentary that we had at the top of the show of this team has not had the opportunity to back-to-back it, right? Back-to-back successful seasons. Now, your definition of success may be different. For some, that means a national championship only. I think for where Texas A&M is right now, double-digit wins to me is successful seasons, right? And for them to be able to double down on that and do it once again, there's this process that they're going through. And this process, if we're kind of zeroing in on the defensive side, is, hey, we expect this from them. It's not happening. And I think we've even seen that here, like in all walks of business, all walks of life. There are times where we have an intern group where Nick and I have to look at ourselves like, hey, what are we doing to not able to get them to where we need them to be by the end of the semester? And that's what all great organizations do. And Coach Elko is running this football team like a football team, but also a Fortune 500 company, right? He's got the checks and balances. He's got it all. You laughed at me again. What did I do this time? Fortune 500? You rolled your eyes again. How many times did you get in trouble as a kid for rolling your eyes? I figured. We'll be back. It's TexAgs Live. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for Recruiting Country, brought to you by America Momentum Bank. They're the only privately owned bank headquartered in Bryan College Station, and they're committed to helping our community prosper by offering you a wide array of personal and business banking solutions, specifically designed to help build financial success with confidence and momentum on your side. With that, we go to the Puppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We are joined by Jason Howell. Jason, what's up, buddy?
Oh, same old stuff, man. Same old stuff. Doing a little last minute barbecuing. Some man had an AC scare this weekend that I don't know.
That song was amazing. What song was that? Was that your phone?
What's that?
I heard a song.
That was KZ&E.
Oh, KZ&E. Never mind.
Oh,
Disregard, Jason.
Yeah, but yeah, just trying to get things wrapped up and get started on the 2026 football season.
What have you been grilling?
What have I been what?
Grilling.
I actually went to I did some bratwurst jalapeno poppers. I saw a little recipe online and got a wild hair. Did it a few different ways, but basically, it's jalapeno, the cream cheese, the bacon inside a opened up bratwurst, and not the healthiest option, but it was a lot of fun just kind of experimenting a little bit and trying to do something a little bit different.
Yeah, and I apologize. Sometimes Bronny calls me ESL, so it's hard to understand me. Jason, let's get into the IMG work that you had to do. I know you had a lot of great interviews.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start off with there?
I think we got to start with Coach Greg Studrawa.
Okay, hold on. There's a reason I didn't say his name. That I said, where do you want to start? Because I was like, I don't want to butcher this dude's name. So I'm glad Studrawa.
Studrawa. And he goes by Coach Stud because basically people are scared of that last part and how to all put it together. But he's a guy who's coached on a college level, multiple stops at LSU with Coach Moffitt and Ohio State and several other stops along the way. Now he's the head coach over at IMG. And man, I didn't know what to expect going into the interview. He was a guy that I really wasn't too familiar with, but brought a lot of energy. Could not speak highly enough of McFarland and Forstall. Super excited when it comes to his program. He was like, those are two game changers. Those are two of the guys right off the top of the list, and just raved about them and what they bring to the table from a playmaking standpoint, leadership standpoint, and where he's seen them grow over the last year. I mean, he talked about the strides both of those young men have made, and I mentioned it in my three things. I've tried to direct people to those articles and interviews over the last few days. But if you haven't listened to it, that's definitely a highlight reel, because he also goes into his connections with A&M and just what he sees in the program. And one of the things he talked about was how much love for the game and the fun they have and the passion that they play with, that he sees out there with Coach Elko and that staff, and of course his connection there with Moffitt. He's like, there's no doubt Coach Moffitt plays a huge role in that. But he had some phenomenal things to say about the A&M program and just what he sees in what Coach Elko's building and why he thinks it's a great spot for those two young men.
Well, let's talk about those two young men specifically, I should say. I know you get to catch up with them. Talk a little bit about Eric McFarland, his connection with Damian Warren, and why it was such a natural fit to come to Texas A&M.
I think, A&M did a great job of painting the picture with him. He knew after his official visit, that's what he says, that he knew A&M was kind of the place for him. He had developed a strong connection and bond with the coaches, the guys on the roster, and just everybody in the program. And he just felt, at home with what's going on, and he loved the vision on the field. With they've highlighted Mario Craver there, and the comparisons and the utility, and the way that they could see Eric fitting into a very similar role. And I think Eric really bought into it and really enjoyed, really was able to see what it could look like and what it could look like at an early point in his career at A&M. And as far as Damani, I mean, you look at him now, one's in Las Vegas, others in at IMG, but they both grew up in Las Vegas. They've grown up playing with and against each other for years, and to reunite in College Station, you've got that dynamic presence that Eric brings to the table, and then Damani is that big-bodied athlete on the outside as well. So you've got a strong, powerful combination that brings a chemistry and a knowledge of each other, and I think they're both pretty excited to see what that looks like in College Station.
And I should have said Damani, I called him Damian. Let's move to Eric McFarland then. Zyron Forstall, because he's kind of the guy that would just take me through his summer working with College Station and also how he helped recruit.
Yeah, he got to, come back to College Station a few times. I know we've talked about those guys that came in and took multiple visits over the summer, and Zyron was one of those guys who, he spent a lot of quality time recruiting around the team. One of the things he talks about in our interview is just what he learned about the step, from high school to college, and how it's, even for a program like IMG that's known for elite development and, preparation for the college level, it's a huge step. And he was able to see a lot of things that he's going to need to continue to do and improve on as he, gets prepared for his future in College Station. Of course, one of the big guys he was recruiting was Eric McFarland. And when he committed back in, I think it was March, Zyron immediately was like, "Hey, I'm all over Eric," and made him a top priority. They've been teammates there at IMG, and when we caught up with him, he was like, I really didn't have to do a ton of heavy lifting there, because Eric, when he talked to Zyron said when he talked to me about A&M, it was clear we saw a lot of the similar things. Eric talked about how much different the atmosphere was at A&M when he went for his game day visit, and Zyron, that was a big thing for him as well. But the culture, the development, the brotherhood that they see there, those were all things that they kind of sold themselves. But he was one of those guys that was in Eric's ear and many others. But he's excited about the brotherhood that this 27 class is building. One of the things he talked about was elite people with want to be around those with elite mindsets, and that's what you've got in this 27 class is a lot of guys with similar mindset, similar traits and cultures and a determination to develop. And I think that those were a lot of things that really stood out to him. But you're looking at Zyron is up 20 pounds from where he was this time last year. And he's got a lot of people excited about what he's going to bring to the table coming off the edge. And I know Coach Studrawa was pretty pumped up about what he's seen in terms of the power game that Zyron's brought to the table, as well as that quick twitch and ability to bend the corner and put heat on the quarterback.
Talking to Jason Howell here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. It is Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank. Let's kind of look now to some of the underclassmen, Andre Alexander and Chase Foster, and of course, Phoenix Evans.
Yeah, and these are three guys I wanted to highlight them because both Alexander and Foster were camp standouts, and Phoenix Evans is a guy that he plays all across the secondary. You're going to see him play some nickel this year at IMG. He's played corner. He's played safety. He's also been a teammate of Mekhi Allen at Don Bosco. He's, he knows the story of Chase Basantis. And now he's playing with McFarland and Forstall at IMG. So there's a lot of connections there. And again, like Zyron mentioned, that elite mentality. He's excited to see more about A&M. He's already developed some relationships, Coach Elko and BGA and several of the guys on the staff. And he's excited to dive more into that and come back. And Andre, I remember seeing him at camp. He was one of the more impressive linebackers we saw. But again, he loved the culture. A&M is a place that definitely has his attention from a mindset standpoint. Coach Travis Williams leading those efforts. And all these guys are talking about getting back to College Station. They didn't necessarily mention dates, but look for all these guys to be back in College Station at some point this fall. And with Chase Foster on the D-line, he's a guy that Coach Elijah Robinson's been recruiting since the 8th grade. So he's got a long-standing relationship there. Chase was the fastest big man at one of the big elite camps this summer in College Station, and earned his offer. But he was able to visit in the spring, and is a guy that definitely keep an eye on out there. A&M's done a great job developing that pipeline and really digging in that 27 class. And it's looking like 28 has a chance to be pretty fruitful as well.
Talking to Jason Howell here on TexAgs Live. Jason, let's look at a 28. Converse Judson's, is it Jamar Bowens?
Jamari Bowens. And 6'4", 6'5", 210, multi-sport athlete. A guy that we were able to catch up with, got a nice little interview that we posted on Monday. That he's got some connections to A&M. His older brother Johnny Bowens committed to Texas A&M in the 23 class, but eventually decommitted. Ended up going to Oregon, transferred back to UTSA, a guy that familiar with A&M and what the Aggie program has to offer. He's a big body receiver, tight end type, and a guy that A&M, Texas, SMU, and several across the state have made a pretty high priority with his versatility and just a unique skill set. But he competes in track. He competes in basketball, spends a lot of time on the AAU circuit, and catching up with him, he spoke highly of the A&M staff and what he's hearing from the Aggies and getting back to College Station.
Talking to Jason Howell. Hey, Jason, does it feel like we're in an area of, all right, everything's going to be chill, we've got season starting up? Is that kind of where we are?
Yeah, it's it's not too high paced, but yeah, the things that I'd be watching, you got quarterback Donald Tabron to keep an eye on. He's planning to make an August decision, and A&M is very much in the mix there. I'd say they're the leader, but LSU is a school to watch there. You've got guys setting visits, especially in that 28 class, and yeah, but with the 27s, you got a few questions going into the season, but you're kind of in your wait and see mode right now in that 27 group.
All right, and I do got to ask you because it happened earlier, I guess at the end of last week. Landon William Callis picking Texas. You don't think it was a surprise?
No, and me and Bronny have been pretty clear on this. There's been a lot of Texas momentum there. The Longhorns seem to feel pretty confident about their chances and were very outspoken about it throughout from the end of June until he was ready to announce his decision. And, we did feel like there was still a shot. I think one of the things we continued to say was, look, we hear all the things being said, but you can't count out Trooper Taylor. A&M, you saw a number of guys, a number of recruits, number of guys on campus continue to recruit him all the way to the end. And, he was a guy that the Aggies wanted, definitely a guy they made a priority. And but I think the writing, the writing was, it was hard to pick against the Horns, even with a little bit of, I guess the door seemed to be left open a little bit as we got towards decision making time. I want to say checking with a lot of different sources on this at different programs. SMU felt like it was them in Texas. Houston, them in Texas. A&M felt like it's coming down to them in Texas. And when it gets to that point, and there's a single common competitor, you kind of get the picture. But I think everyone was fighting to the end, and he did a good job of keeping things close to his vest.
All right, Jason, let's hit a break here. We'll come back with more on Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank. Let's talk about our friends at Paragon Financial Advisors. They're great. Stephen McGee, he should be with us tomorrow. There's something special about the Aggie Network. It's built on trust, on relationships, and people looking out for each other. And that's exactly how Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors approaches financial planning from their headquarters right here in College Station. They serve individuals, families, and business owners nationwide with independent, fee-only fiduciary advice. So if you're preparing for retirement, growing your investments, building your business, or planning for the eventual sale of that business, Paragon's going to work alongside you every step of the journey. You can learn more and get a schedule and a complimentary consultation at paragon-adv.com. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, Aggie-owned, independent, serving clients nationwide. We're live here on TexAgs Live, talking to Jason Howell on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. It is Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank. Let's continue down that running back path, Jason. So they don't get Landon William Callis. Okay, what's the next step for running back? Is it kind of a wait and see how guys on campus develop and maybe how guys around the state develop?
I think it's going to be a nationwide search, but right now it is a wait and see type of situation. I think you're going to see a lot of evaluation, a lot of turning over stones, making sure that they zero in on the right guy, whatever that looks like, whether that's hitting the portal or deciding we see a guy in the 28 class or a couple guys that we want to direct our attention that way. I look for them to take a look at some of the guys they looked at early on in the process, and we've mentioned some of those names. One that I know I like is Oregon commit Kadarius McMiller out of Tyler High in East Texas, but it's going to be a situation where, I don't think they're in a rush to make a decision and hit out after another target. I think they're going to, Trooper's going to take a look at the board and evaluate the options and see what's out there, and then move on from there. You'll probably see them kick some tires of some 27s around the state, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a few new names from across the country even. But again, I don't think they're in a hurry just to put get after a couple guys. They don't have a guy that it's like, oh, this is gonna be who they're gonna go after. So one of the guys we have been hearing that you've seen out there thrown out there as a potential option, Sherrod Baker, DeSoto, and he has been a strong option in the past, but I just don't see it. Talking to different sources around DeSoto and around Sherrod, there was a lot of mutual interest, but Texas Tech, let's just say they've done well there, and it's going to take a real change of direction for that to come back towards A&M or anyone else for that matter.
Jason, I know Coach Elko doesn't care if they finish with the number one recruiting class. That's not important to him. What's important to him is getting the best guys for Texas A&M. That being said, they are number one right now. So what does that look like over the next couple of months?
I've got, a few big questions, and will the Aggies finish as the number one class in 27? One of those at the top of the list. Again, I don't think the coaching staff or the personnel staff really cares about that. It's not something they can really control. If 247 or on 3 decides they don't like somebody in the class, those rankings can change. So you can lose it without changing any of the people in it. But I think right now A&M is in a great position, and I don't see any of those guys really having any cause for worry as far as losing a ranking to a substantial degree. All of them are really highly thought of, and so established in their standing nationally. I think I think A&M's got a great chance at finishing number one. Honestly, I think it's going to take A&M seeing a decommitment or two to see them lose that standing right now. I don't see any major smoke in that department. You could see some more reclassifications. We saw Amir Sears, a 5-star in the 28 class, reclassify up to 27 and commit to Miami. So, further solidifying that that class there with the Canes. But even with that addition, they weren't able to overtake A&M. And then you could see some schools get some flips. I know the Longhorns are really trying to get after Munch-on Sales still. I mean, that's if they're able to pull that off, maybe a couple more flips, you could see the Longhorns make a run at the top spot. But at the as things stand and as the projections look, A&M's got to feel great about what they have put together. And I think they're in a very strong position to finish as the number one recruiting class in the country in 27.
And do you see maybe another commitment at some point before the season starts, or is this more, if we see anything, it'll be after football is being played?
I think right now we're looking more towards something during the season, or in December or late November as things start to wrap up in the class. But yeah, I think right now we're very much in wait and see mode. Landon Williams-Callis was kind of the last guy, that uncommitted guy that it looked like they could add to the class, and now it's going to be about what do they do at running back? Do they look at some of these late emerging prospects that eventually pop up on the radar, and are they able to get a flip here or there? And I think those are all going to take time to see. I think generally in-season evaluation, you're looking at 3 weeks into the season before you start to see those highlight clips, those highlight reels start to emerge, and things like that. So I think if there's an early evaluation, you might start to hear more about that as the season starts to get going. But right now, yeah, I'm thinking we're in wait and see mode.
Jason, let's talk about Chance Archangel, and as we look at the 28th as well. I know that they are looking at every position because they're still got a long ways to go, but let's start off with Chance.
Yeah, Chance gives A&M a great, flexible, twitchy guy on the edge, and it's a heck of a way to start off the recruiting class. I think that's got to be something that when you look at what is starting with the 28 cycle, you've already got one of those guys that can be a difference maker on the edge. He can really bend that corner, heat up the backfield. He brings some versatility to the position, and he's got a lot of Caden McCarty to him. Very long, lean, and he just gets after it and really puts pressure on the quarterback. So big win this summer to kick things off in the 28 cycle. And I think he's when I'm looking at things I like, I love that they were able to start off things with a big commitment on the edge and kind of get that ball rolling.
Great stuff, Jason. I appreciate your time, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, David.
Thank you. Jason Howell there on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll come back with In Case You Missed It, and then we'll listen to a little more of Coach Elko on the other side. You're listening to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. It's the segment that the TikTokers love. It's TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. In case you missed it, with a sprinkle of football. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Dreyer, I just saw you, so I don't know why I said hello to you. You were just here, now you're here, so hello. And Sid, what up?
I am in a great mood today.
You're always in a good mood.
I am, but especially today.
Why especially?
Because fall camp and it means football is starting.
Are you going to practice today?
I should be.
You should
if
be?
I'm cleared to go, I am.
When you
I'm
say
for sure
clear-
going tomorrow.
When you say clear to go, like they approve you?
Yeah, because we might have 2 social people there.
They
a lot
may.
of content coming. Get ready for it, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to approve you. I don't know.
They better.
I just
They
said I don't
better.
know. You took it. I don't know. I'm not them. So
You said it. You said it like in a
I
descending
don't
tone.
know. Like,
Okay.
if they're watching right now, they're going to say absolutely not, or they say
No, they want-
absolutely yes.
they want me there.
Because then you can say, in case you missed it, this happened at practice.
Exactly.
Boom.
You might see me there. You might not. So.
Okay, well, today we're going to play a game in honor of fall camp starting.
This is where I do terrible.
So we're going to give you every position group,
Okay.
and we want you to pick who starts at each position group if they played today.
Your opinion. Who you
If they
want.
played today.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, first. Starting 5 up front.
I mean, you got to do Naboo. You got to go with the. I think today you start the 3 transfers, right? Yeah, I think absolutely the 3 transfers. And who am I missing here? We've got left guard. So Tyree Adams. I think we'll do. Let me think. Yeah. So let's go with the transfers. Naboo. I'm missing one. Who am I missing? Let's go Cohen Eccles. He's the transfer. Who am I missing? Wilkin Formby's there. Yes. Trevon Ball's there. Who am I missing?
You put like Blake Ivy.
Yeah, let's go there. We'll go
Okay.
Blake Ivy. I think Billy said that on the show. Okay, you want to go wide receivers? Are we going to do 3 or are we doing 2? What are we doing?
You decide.
Okay,
Yeah, whatever you want.
We're just for right now, Craver and Horton. Quarterback, I think we're going to go with Marcel Reed. Running
Obviously.
back, I think it'll be Ruben Owens.
Yes.
I think tight end will be Richie Anderson. Okay, I think we know David Olano. Don't know, but I assume it'll be David Olano as your field goal kicker. I know Asher Murray's had a really good one. Let's see. On the defensive side, I think that's going to be a crapshoot, but I'll tell you, DJ Hicks is absolutely the guy. Linebackers, today, I don't think Damian Sanford's your starting linebacker today because he's still working his way through if he had to play today. But I think whenever that day is, he's your starting linebacker, and I think he'll be paired up initially with Ray Coney, but Noah McHale getting a lot of love and a lot of reps early on. And then in the secondary, I mean, you're going to do Dez, you're going to go Ricky, you're going to go Dalton, you'll go, throw me one. I think the others, the nickel spot, I mean, yeah.
What do you feel about Julio?
I think Julio, actually today Julio might start. I think when Ricky gets his work in, I think he'll be the guy. But I think today Julio, and from what we heard about camp, Julio was, killing it.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we'll do it.
You see Marco Jones in there?
Yeah. I think Marco and Anto will be along. I think they'll be, I don't know. Again, though, I don't know who starts is as important as who's in the rotation.
Yeah, right.
Because, you're going to see, remember Tyler Onyedim. There's other guys last year that, they didn't have to start to feel their presence in each game. So I think when we're talking about rotations, how deep do they go? On the line, do they go 7 deep? On the defensive line, do they go 8 deep? I think that's the question on how deep they go.
So what about punt and kick return?
Now, kick return, Coach Elko gave a really good answer yesterday. And he even said, if I remember correctly, we could see Isaiah Horton
Yes.
involved in it. Could, I think is the way he phrased it. But I do think we'll see a combination. I don't know how much you want to use Craver in that world, but Terry Bussey, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, a couple more
What did I
things.
miss? That was a test. That wasn't a miss.
No, it was,
It was a fun game in honor of camp.
Oh, in order of camp. Gotcha. Yeah.
One thing you may have missed, the football weight room had a little renovation done. The benches are so nice. They got new equipment, and the whole thing looks a lot newer now. Some people are actually saying that the benches look nicer than the seats in a Mercedes-Benz. Have you seen the pleated seats on the benches?
On Instagram, they posted
I haven't seen it. No.
They
No.
look so nice.
Do we have a picture of it?
I didn't send it.
Ah!
I forgot.
Do you have it on your computer?
I can look it up for you.
We don't have to do that. That's fine.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you one more thing that you probably have missed. So all over Twitter, I guess Colorado's being not made fun of, but basically their guys look like they're 13 years old. They look like they need Tommy Moffitt. Everyone
People are
is
saying
making
this looks
comments
like
about
Pee-wee.
how tiny they are. And I mean, I don't know if that's just us comparing them to Texas A&M or what, but on Twitter, people are just saying that they might need a new strength and conditioning coach.
Well, do we have the numbers in front of us to Fik Byard when he got here and to where he's at now? Like, I'm just curious. I mean, he may have lost weight. I don't know if he did, but I guarantee you he looks bigger.
Yes. It's the Moffitt method.
It's the Moffitt method.
That's all we have.
That's it? So a test? And I want to say, okay.
It was a game, not a test.
It was a test. Speed test. Give me the offensive line. I don't know. All the 3 transfers today.
No, I gave you.
But to go back to that, I think, as Billy has pointed out, Lamont Rogers, expect him to play quite a bit. Yeah. At some point. And that goes back to the original segment we had on the show, that this competition, I think that the reason I struggled answering those questions is a really good thing.
Yes.
It can be a bad thing too.
Especially with the new freshmen. There's so many of them.
Well, and then I think the second and third year players that have been waiting their turn.
Right.
You know, Lamont Rogers was kind of green when he got here, and he has developed, and he's just athletically and physically, you know that he's going to be a factor. Tyree Adams did a great job at LSU, didn't play in the A&M game, but these are guys that I think you don't have to start the young guys. So I think today you start guys who have done it in the SEC, but we'll see if that looks different in 3 or 4 weeks.
That is true.
All right, give me one more thing.
I'm trying to look for this new locker room to send to Nick.
We can.
Like the pleated seats are actually crazy. They look so nice.
And
I'm
all
jealous.
of the equipment looks brand new. The turf looks new. Like everything looks like everything got redone, just like the volleyball locker room.
Did you get to go to that?
I did not, but I saw it. I looked at all the footage.
That was good. That was good. Yeah, Kay did great there. All right, ladies, you can show me at the break what this looks like, and then I can share it with the audience on the other side. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. I want to hear one more thing from Coach Elko as we get ready for the start of fall camp later on this afternoon. We'll have full coverage on TexAgs.com. Of course, all of our social media platforms. Check it out. We'll be back in a few. Welcome back to the final segment of the program. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner Schuler's Roller Insurance Studio. So I'm going to ask the audience to text in on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line, on the TexAgs Premium chat, or on the YouTube chat. What do you hope we report back about practice tonight? And let's go with realistic hoping, not like, hey, I hope Marcel goes 1,000 for 1,000 deep balls. Like, I want us to all in audience participation and staff participation. What do we want to hear, like, from us, from Bronny, myself, whoever else covers it, Callie, whoever's out there? What do you guys want to hear from it? Well, I want to hear from you on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, and also on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. Nick, what do you want to hear?
I want to hear. I want to hear about the linebacker room, to be honest with you, just because, not because of, well, kind of because of Samford, just because apparently he's going to be participating in some form or fashion tonight. It'll be interesting to see how much he's participating, but if he's not, and it may look like he might not be full go for week one, like what does it look like behind him? We talked about Ray Coney today. He was number 18 on 25 and 25, so I'm excited about him. I feel like a lot hasn't really been said about him, but I mean, he was a tackling machine at Tulsa, and I think he's going to be a key piece in the middle of the defense. So I want to see that, and I'm just interested to see this wide receiver crew one more time. I mean, feels like they're so loaded in that position. It's going to be fun to see maybe some highlights tomorrow in our show when we put it all together.
I hope so. All right, Kaylee Dreyer, what do you want to see?
Well, I want to see about this legendary, I guess, SEC-ready secondary that Mike Elko keeps talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, hold on. To give Coach Elko a little credit here, he keeps being asked about it.
Yes.
So like,
yes.
It's not, he's not like touting it. Yeah, I'm not. I just want to make sure people understand. It's not like Coach Elko's bragging about it.
Yes.
He's been asked, and he said, "Hey, I think this is the best I've had here at A&M." So, and he also said yesterday, on top of that, I judged this on draft picks, and he thinks he's got some draft picks there. Continue. Sorry.
Also, obviously, the O-line, like everyone wants to see, but also I'm interested in the transfers, but mainly the freshmen and seeing, who gets playing time. Obviously, in the first few games, I'm sure we'll see more variation around every position, but I'm curious to see what happens at practice.
I'm going to play a bite from Elko on that secondary in a moment, but let me tell you some of the things that I'm looking for. I am not one of those that wants to watch the offensive line. I don't think I'm going to learn anything. All right, I just see dudes moving. Like that. Okay. I don't have the eye for it. Some people have the palate for wine. I don't have the eye to see. I mean, I can in a game, but I can't see it in practice. Like, I kind of see it. Whatever. Oh, he looks huge. Oh, yeah, he moved great. What I want to see is that's long-term forecasting, as is my next one. But I feel like a point that we have not hit enough is the running game, right? The running game, to me, while the offensive line is the catalyst, the line of scrimmage is the catalyst to performance, right, for Texas A&M and all teams. It's all one in the trenches. If you can't run the ball, you can't expect for Marcel to have a great season. Mm-hmm. And if you just look at how they ran the ball towards the end of the year against elite defenses, I recognize, but you sometimes you need backs to make the offensive line look good, and sometimes you need the offensive line to make the backs look good. And by the way, that can happen with the quarterback as well. So, can the running game be what we saw for 3/4 of the season last year, which was it made defenses had to be honest on passing situations, right? Because you knew that Le'Veon and Ruben and Jamarian and EJ and Amari all could do big things. I am very curious to see what the running game looks like. Does Ruben Owens, I mean, I've seen him since, the end of the season. He looked bigger and stronger. But that is an area that I think if you talk about the offensive line and you talk about Marcel, you have to talk about the running game. I think I said that like I was scolding my kids. Like, you have to talk about it. But to me, it's not all about the running game. But the running game, to me, will determine what kind of year the offense has. Because we're going to get great numbers, I believe, from the wide receivers anyway. I am talking about limiting turnovers. I am talking about efficiency. I'm talking about giving Marcel time where he doesn't feel sped up. If he's sped up, it's because he wants to be sped up, as opposed to being forced to be sped up. And those are two different scenarios. You can have a quarterback who plays better up tempo. You don't want a quarterback to be forced to move out of the pocket because of pressure. You want it to be because he has a design play that comes that way, or they're trying to play at an up-tempo pace. So that's how I really think the running game is important. But back to what you were talking about in the secondary, he was asked, Coach Elko was asked about the secondary, about how he has talked about them a few times. And I'll let his speaking do the analysis, if you will. But he's got different parts of people ready to play. Who's going to start in those positions? What does it look like? Here's Coach Elko on the secondary.
Feeling as though we're going into a season with an SEC level secondary, and there's been times in the past where maybe that wasn't exactly where we were. If you look at it, again, I measure everything. We know this. I measure it all by draft picks, right? And there's been years where we've played without any, and so I just think when you look at the pieces that we have back there, I just think you feel really good about rotating. You feel really good about holding up for 12 games. I think so much of what this year is going to be is it's going to be such a war of attrition with the 5 road SEC games, 9 like it's going to be like, and I'm not trying to complain about it, but it's going to be. And so you feel comfortable with depth and the amount of guys you have that you feel good about going out there playing.
All right, that's Coach Elko, and he is exactly right. But SEC level guys, and how did he phrase it to start that soundbite? He hasn't always had that, right? He's had guys that are good, but not to what it's kind of like the pitching staff for A&M. There were some good guys last year, but they didn't have that front line pitching that they think that they have this year, right? Yeah, not enough of it. And I think when you look at the maturation of Dalton Brooks, who was at the podium yesterday, and you look at Des Ricks as he's kind of gone through this, and you look at what Ricky Gibson can be and what he did at Tennessee and what Julio Humphrey did at Georgia and what another year in this system means to him, and Bryce Anderson coming back, and Taufik Bayer joining the crew, right? The amount of guys that they have added to this secondary and also developed in the secondary, I think that not the sky is the limit for them, not that. But I think if they live up to what Coach Elko has talked about, what do they do for the defensive line? I talked about the relationship between the offensive line and the quarterback, but it's the running game. The secondary will go a long way to allow Marco Jones and Anto Saka a little bit more time to get after the quarterback, and also make it a tighter window for these quarterbacks to throw to make tip balls and interceptions all part of it. All right, that's going to do it for TexAgs Live on a Wednesday. So tomorrow on the program, a couple things I do know about. Former players, okay? We're going to have Stephen McGee on. Aaron Wallace, who I believe just got his master's recently. I believe that's what it is. I want to go back and read it, but I believe he just got his master's. He's going to be joining the program. So we'll talk to both Aaron and Stephen McGee at 2 different times. And of course, on Thursdays, we have Aaron Torres from Under a Freeway. Actually, he hasn't. I don't believe he's... Nick, am I right? Has Aaron Torres been under a freeway recently?
Yeah, no, it sounds like he's coming to us from inside his apartment recently, so a lot better. And
to his credit, it is 2 hours earlier there. So when we get him on at 9:30, it is 7:30. I mean, at that point, I've been awake for 3 hours. But, who's comparing? So we're going to have Aaron Torres on the show. And we're also going to have the world-famous / not really fan show with Matt Browning, Roy May. We'll see if Hunter Sherlock can come by. So we'll have those guys on the program. So it should be a loaded Thursday as well. And then Friday, Billy will join us. But again, it's the start of fall camp. We'll have the snippets from camp. We'll have some highlights from camp. We'll have some audio from after camp. It'll be great. It's the first day of football season. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll have a lot more for you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you all mañana.